What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Got my guy Jaelen Gilkey. You might know him as Silky Gilkey on the
You heard.
internet. Y'all know the vibes, man. We back episode 7, Dukes of the Gridiron Podcast. But before we jump into the college football ranks, Jay, I know down there in the Triad, man, it's been buzzing.
Man,
Panthers damn near fired the whole coaching staff down there, man. What's going on?
man. I mean, 11 months after bringing in Frank Wright, almost a year and 20 days from his original firing in Indianapolis, Frank Wright has been let go once again. Uh, I hate to say I couldn't see the writing on the wall. But I never really thought this was a great hire. I didn't think it was a great fit. You know, picking up a guy who literally had just got fired 2 months before you hired him in the middle of the season. I don't think that set a good precedent in the locker room. I don't think that set a good tone for the direction that we're heading. And I don't think Frank Wright really had an opportunity to kind of decompress, realize what he did wrong, what he did well when he was in Indy, and wasn't able to really grow from that. Things continue to fester down with the Panthers. The offensive line looks like one of the worst units in the NFL right now. Bryce Young isn't really looking that great. He has flashes of greatness every week, but the lack of protection, the lack of weapons, the lack of creativity from the play callers, and he's in a situation now where he's 1-10, and the Carolina Panthers got a lot of buyer's remorse. Trading up to number 1 pick, giving up this year's pick, which is going to end up being number 1, giving that to the Bears. And, they're seeing the success C.J. Stroud is having, but that's because C.J. Stroud was put in a situation with a coach who had a clear plan, a clear vision, was coming off of being successful with San Francisco as a defensive coordinator, and was primed and ready to go to take that next step. Not a coach that was, trying to find a next landing spot after things dissolved where he thought was the perfect situation. And so now we see what, the new interim coach has to offer. He's the current special teams coordinator, Chris Tabor. I wish him luck. That makes him the sixth coach since David Tepper has bought the Panthers in 2018. And it looks like they'll probably be hiring a 7th coach sometime in January. So it's been a mess ever since David Tepper's taken over. I mean, things weren't great before.
Right.
It's gotten a whole lot worse since David Tepper's been the man in charge and cutting the checks and firing folks. And the one guy he's yet to fire, Scott Fitterer, the GM, I think he should have been the first one on the list to go. Due to roster construction, overpaying for the number 1 overall pick when there was clearly 2 options at quarterback. Right. Everybody knew it was 2 options at quarterback coming out of this draft. And it looks like Scott Fitterer overpaid. The cupboard is bare for Bryce. His best player is Adam Thielen, who's, more than serviceable.
Right.
Once was a great player. Now is a very, very good player, but he's just declining with age just because of the fact that, he's been in the league now since I was in high school.
Facts.
So
it's
a tough situation right now down here down these ways. And we got some more news to talk about. We'll get to that later, but it's been real busy in the coaches cycle here. And also Deuce Staley, he's a casualty.
Yeah, man, I hate that.
Well, I didn't understand really kind of what his firing was about. I know he was the associate head coach and running back coach. Him and Frank were real close, but I think he was a voice of reason, a consistent voice that the guys could, tune into and tap into and understand that, at least we have a clear direction. And I don't know now, but good luck to Chris Tabor, and the Panthers. We'll just see how the season ends. I'm pretty sure they're going to lose these next 5, but we'll see.
We saw them drop the ball with Steve Wilkes. We saw them overpay for Miles Sanders. They got DJ Moore out, missed on CJ Stroud. We're seeing all this kind of build up snowball effect. What do the Panthers and Panther Nation, what do they have to hold on to right now? Is it anything to look ahead to?
Just to try to get Bryce Young to year 3. If you can get Bryce Young to year 3 without any major career-threatening injuries or
That boy running for his life.
I'm telling you, man, it's so sad to see because I see him in pressers, I watch him throughout the week, and it's just he's doing a good job of trying to put on a strong face and a strong front as to you know, oh, I'm cool, calm, and collected, and this is part of the growing pains, and I understand this is part of the process with the NFL. But you could see how much each loss weighs on him,
Hmm.
whether that be Wednesday, whether that be right after the game on Sunday, whether that be Thursday, Friday going into the game. You could see how much this amount of losing and just this lack of direction, this lack of continuity, this lack of any type of growth since he's been in Carolina is really
Right.
affected him. And I just hope his mental is strong enough to stay above board, so he doesn't
Yeah.
drown in the dysfunction and he doesn't drown on the sinking Titanic that is the Carolina Panthers right now.
Absolutely, man. Carolina got a lot to do to turn around. Really stings not having that draft pick for them guys this year. But don't
They need a left tackle so bad. I know
man,
they just
what's
drafted Icky.
crazy, right?
I know they
Right?
just drafted Icky 2 years ago, but they need a left tackle. They need a right tackle. They need all five linemen, and they need a number one receiver.
Bad,
and
desperate.
and they need a workhorse back. They need all of these things. And I mean, Chuba Hubbard's he's a good second option. I don't think he's a workhorse.
Right.
You know, the defense has dealt with a
Definitely
lot of
not three
injuries over the
downs.
top. Yeah, the defense has dealt with a lot of injuries. Still haven't re-signed Brian Burns, which is just a whole nother factor to this because he was holding in during training camp, trying to be a
Right.
good team player and show that he's a leader. And it's like they haven't even prioritized extending him. And so I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm lost. Team's lost. The franchise seems to be lost. The fans are disheartened, upset, furious. It's
Man.
they're going through the Carolina Panther fans are going through the full gauntlet of emotions right now
They
because
the
it's been
laughing stock at the league right
it
now.
feels like purgatory, man. Ever since T.J. Watt blew up Cam Newton's shoulder, that what was that a Monday night
Man.
up in Pittsburgh, it just seems like the Panthers have been spiraling. It just and there's nowhere to go. And people say there's nowhere to go up, but I mean, no one's ever been to the bottom of the ocean, so we don't know how deep it really is.
Hey, they got them mob ankle weights on them. They sinking,
Bro.
sinking, sinking the boulders with the chains, the good fellas, the chains
They put
attached to
him
the
in
ankles.
they put him in them concrete shoes. See how good
Yeah.
you swim, my boy.
Man, and I know, man, you've been talking about the Panthers all day. That's the headline news in Carolina. Last night there was some more headline news with more coaching changes. This time a coach stepping up. Talking about Coach Mike Elko, a guy that we talked about for the last month, Jay. Just we saw the statement. We kind of talked about it last week where he's calling out them alumni, need the money, need the NIL, need more support from these guys, man. Now he's in a position where resources are not an issue, where money is no problem. Some Duke faithful are upset. They're kind of, I think, reacting kind of how Jackson State did when Dion dipped out. Coach Wright said, or excuse me, Coach Elko said all the right things while he was here. What was your initial reaction? Is it wrong for him being painted as the bad guy right now?
No, man, because that's the art of the business. Especially now that these kids that he's recruited have an out. Jumping in that transfer portal if they have enough tape, which is a whole different thing, right?
Right.
If the other coaches are still communicating with you and you've got enough tape that can go land you another, equal or semi, it's close to equal scholarship offer in a program that is
Facts.
of equal strength or close to the level of Duke football, then go ahead and take that option unless you just want to stay. Which is, I mean, I commend you for that as well. But gone are the days where the coach leaves and all the kids are screwed, and I'm
Hmm.
thankful for that because I've seen that too many times. That's happened to too many of my colleagues, too many of my friends, too many of my peers.
Yep.
People that came before us. It's just been generations of that. You go want to go play for a coach, and he's up and gone after you sign. So these kids having a little bit more accessibility and availability and more power in the college football and the college athletic realm makes me feel better about Coach Elko's decision because I can't ever be mad at a man for going to get a bigger bag.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody wants a bigger bag unless you're content where you are.
Right.
Most people want a bigger bag, and there's not going to be many bags bigger than the one at Texas A&M. So you already got relations there. You spent time there as the defensive coordinator. They're familiar with you before you took over this Duke program, revitalized it, made it a winner, made it, a part of the national conversation for this year, for the first half of this year for sure.
Yeah.
Last year was more of a surprise. Oh, look what Duke football did. This year it was more, let's make sure we're paying attention to Duke football, and then until we go out, beat Clemson at home, and then once Riley Leonard goes down against Notre Dame, it is what it is. The season's gonna fall apart. That's gonna be pretty much anywhere, any program, when your quarterback goes down.
Right.
So I'm as my favorite superhero always said, it's this quote: either you die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And that's just part of Coach Elko's arc right now. I'm sure his wife or whoever is in his life, his people that he really loves, really
they
care
lit.
about, they feeling real good with the decision.
Jay, how fast you signed that contract from A&M, Jay?
I mean, I'm on it, baby. It's not even to talk about. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and tell my boys, like, hey, y'all already heard, y'all already know. Y'all know what type of bags they got. You got some boys over there that got NIL deals over there. I know one of y'all knows somebody to A&M. And I know it's a couple, young Makai Wall on the Dudley, on the Duke team. He went to Dudley. He's he played with Jerriante Davis, who's down there at A&M now. So he knows what's going on.
I mean,
them bags unmatched. No, you can't be mad at your coach for going to sign that because they put him on the PJ immediately.
Yeah.
Before the sun didn't come out, they snuck him out the college station before he made the announcement.
Talking about he probably up there right now.
No, bro, they had video of him jumping off the PJ.
Oh man,
it was either
they snuck bro out of Durham in the middle of the dawn.
Yeah, he messed around and called AD Nina King until he landed down in College Station. He was like, "Yeah, baby, hey, Miss Nina, I appreciate the opportunity, the money. You go ahead and keep the rest of that. I don't need no buyout. I'm good where I'm at." It's like when Buddy, you seen Harlem Nights?
Oh yeah.
When Buddy called,
oh yeah.
First time I got that, they make you call home, telling you ain't coming back.
I'm telling you, it's a wrap. I know where I'm at.
I ain't coming back.
Just hang up on him. It ain't even that left to say. Man, I'm seeing it. We know what Coach Elko's bringing to the table. Texas A&M 7-5 last year. Not relevant. It's weird. They got one of them fan bases that has like Alabama expectations, but really hasn't prospered on the field. It's not a lack of funds, facilities.
And then we got one national championship.
You know what I'm saying? I think that was what the Junction Boys, like that.
It was 90 something.
Yeah, like the 2030s. Oh, it was something a while ago. And I'm looking at it. A&M didn't run the ball really well last year or this year. Elko can come in and change that. Defensive guy. We know he's going to have the defense, the front seven up there stout, ready to make plays. He's got the facilities. I'm seeing that, he's made them connections with the high school coaches out there. A lot of high school coaches like him. He's going to be able to walk into any gym, any field house that he wants to. Looking at it, what are realistic expectations for A&M? I mean, I feel like you can't really judge his success till probably about year 3.
Yeah, man, but the thing about that is them folks ain't waiting that long. So I'll tell you this. They better be relevant and in the hunt for that SEC West next year. Maybe 1-2 games back behind Alabama.
That's tough.
It is.
That's tough.
Because we're going to deal with LSU too.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss, you know what I'm saying? Only 2 teams they lost to was Bama and Georgia. That and Mizzou, like we talking about the tier 2 squads right now.
Exactly. And, so the East is going to be locked up with Georgia, but like you said, Mizzou's knocking on the door. Florida, they had a down year this year, but they're always going to be close. But the SEC West, it's Bama's world. It's Nick Saban's world.
Facts.
It don't matter how close you think you're getting to beat them. No matter how close you think you're going to get to beat them. He showed you this weekend. It don't matter how close you think you are.
4th and 31. Are you kidding me?
4th and goal from the 31.
Oh, my. Browns. Nah, that boy Jalen Milroe. We definitely got to get into that. But that boy Jalen Milroe, I need the respect, man. I need the applause to be as loud as that disrespect was about 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. That's all
Yeah,
I'm.
man. But Oko, man, he got his hands full. Like you said,
Yeah, that's not
anytime
an
you
easy
anytime
job,
you pull up
man.
in the division with Nick Saban, think you finna make any noise, you're optimistic, hopeful. Some will call you delusional, as the kids call them now, Delulu.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're tripping. And now they're gonna add Texas and Oklahoma.
That's what I'm looking at. Like you got to split. I'm thinking, you splitting the recruits with Texas, obviously. That's
Oklahoma's
tough.
dipping in down to Texas, getting them boys
Easily,
easy.
easily, easily, man. I'm looking at it.
TCU always in it.
You know what I'm saying? TCU definitely gonna have something to say. The Baylors of the world, they still gonna be getting guys. Like it's a lot to compete with out there.
And then
Um,
LSU, right? Not too far.
right, right. Nah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm telling you, not an easy job out there. He's moving into that aspect where
But
he's gonna be.
they compensate well enough for you to take that
That's
to
what I'm
deal with all them
saying.
stress, with all them stress.
Hey, it ain't no excuses. You gonna have everything you need right there, man. It's big expectations down there in College Station. Looking at the outlook, we seen they starting quarterback from last season has already entered the transfer portal. So if you a guy like Riley Leonard, are you making that jump to Texas A&M?
I mean, that just depends on what you want from life. Um, I think Texas A&M is a better situation for him to be at as a football player. I don't know if it's a better situation for him to be as a person
Right.
developing professional. Because I don't really know what Riley Leonard's NFL opportunities are going to be.
It seemed like they was kind of
I mean, they
blaring
gonna give
this
him a they
year.
gonna give him a shot. I mean, they gave
Yeah,
David Jones a shot.
before the injury, it seemed like, day two type of,
Yeah, but I mean, he
third,
hasn't really.
fourth.
They've never passed the ball well while he was there.
Right. Nah,
I
he's definitely
understand,
that
they
dual
don't
threat
have
guy.
the elite weapons everywhere, but I mean, you got to at least be able to make some type of noise in the passing game, and that's never really been Duke's calling card. So Riley Leonard, if the opportunity is there and you want to, give it a shot at being a professional football player, yeah, I'd say go. If you want to be anything else, I say stay at Duke because the network there, the opportunity there, the connections there are going to be stronger on the professional end no matter what field you want to go into, unless you want to become an oil rigger
Huh?
or, if you want to become an oil tycoon or an NFL quarterback, then I say go to Texas A&M. But if you want to do anything else in life, I would stay at Duke.
Now, I respect that, man. You really can't beat that degree from Duke. From a
Yeah.
football standpoint, obviously the move, playing on a bigger stage, staying with your head coach, who obviously, we've seen them win games. They won 9 games last year. Put them guys on the map. Really, that's where that draft talk kind of started. Because Riley Leonard, I'm gonna be honest, before last year, I didn't know who the hell he was. So I
Man,
think that kind of propelled it. But you talk about a guy that's used to Elko's system, who's played under it, who he trusts, who he loves, playing on a big stage where the Texas A&M quarterback room is wide open right now.
yeah.
I'm looking at him. I'm looking at Riley Leonard. I'm looking at Jordan Moore as well, one of the best receivers in the ACC.
Jordan Moore is like that. I like him. I think he's more likely to jump in the portal
See, that's what
than
I'm
Riley
thinking.
Leonard because he's really like a pro prospect.
Yeah,
Jordan Moore's a pro
he's
prospect.
tough.
And so I think the step up in competition, getting on that bigger stage, I think that'll help him solidify his case to get drafted when his time comes next.
Nah, absolutely.
Not next April, but the April after
Cause
that.
yeah, he's a junior right now. I think he had like 784 yards, 8 tutties, and you talking about, like you said, they don't really throw it like that. And for him to still have that type of
And then
production,
they had 3 quarterbacks this year.
yeah, yeah. Hey man, I'm wondering what little Grayson Loft is gonna do. It's a lot to look at the scale of Duke right now too, man. If those guys stay or if they go, but looking at Duke, you know, how do they move forward? Obviously, they got to find a new coach, but can they build off what Elko did? Did he make an impact there, in your opinion? Like, what's next for Duke?
I would say he definitely made an impact there because I mean, what is he? 16-9 as the head coach over 2 years.
I think he did well recruiting the state too, man. Like he
Yeah,
really got
he
some
did
talent
a
down
lot.
there.
Didn't let a lot of talent leave out. I know those last couple years. underneath what's my name? Cutcliffe.
Cutlass.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cutlass.
Coach Cutcliffe got kind of rough, so I understand. Like, I'm not gonna say he built a whole, powerhouse and a tradition or anything like nothing to compare to what Coach Dave Doran's got going at NC State. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna compare
and that took some
them.
time.
Exactly, bro. That took
Yeah.
decades. Like, so, um, yeah, he helped them and sent them in the right direction. I don't know if he, like you said, built much of anything.
As far as a
Because now,
culture, yeah.
I mean, they're back to square one. So, because I mean, before he took over in 2022 season, I mean, they were 3-9.
Hmm.
You know? Like they lost to UNCC to open the season in 2021.
It was bad. It
You
was
know,
bad.
so I mean, let's just be real. I mean, they was getting blown out by everybody in this ACC. Anybody that was on their schedule, I mean, they got clapped 48-0 to Virginia, 2021.
Duke was looking like food for sure.
Yeah, so I mean,
For
like you said, three
sure.
three and nine. Only teams they beat this year in 2021. They beat my Aggies from A&T. That was 45-17. We scored way more points than we should have.
And that was a down year for A&T.
It was. It was. Then they beat Northwestern and they beat Kansas. Those are the only three games that they won that year. And this was Kansas before Jaden Daniels was there.
Yeah, this is way before. Man, now I'm looking at it, and I think for Duke, man, if Ronnie Leonard stays, they'll compete next year. They got enough talent to where on the both sides of the ball
It's
they
because
bring
we
them
don't know
back.
where Carolina is right now, bro.
Bro, I don't
Because
know.
they about to lose Drake May. They about to lose Tez Walker. And is
Yeah,
Hampton done too?
I
Is
think
Hampton out?
I think he's a sophomore. I think he might be a junior though. I think he might be a sophomore though. One of them. If he out too though, man, that's tough because I mean he wanted to. I think it's fair to say most well-rounded running back in the nation, man. There ain't
Yeah,
really no holes in his
he is.
game.
He is. Amarion Hampton is definitely. He's a sophomore.
Okay, so yeah, he'll be back next year. So that's the. I mean, they gonna build
If he
around
don't hit
that.
the portal.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, he stay at Carolina. He the man. He got to be featured next year. Like no excuses for that. But like you said, the ACC, we don't really know what Clemson gonna look like. It's gonna be a lot of teams. Florida State gonna be looking different, especially when Keon Coleman, Jordan Travis out the lineup. The ACC kinda gonna be
It's
one of
wide
them
open next year.
conferences.
It's wide open.
Yeah, where things is wide open, man.
When they bring in Stanford, Cal, and SMU.
And all them SMU was the best out of them three this year. So I mean, I don't know. That's really not saying a whole lot. Them teams was terrible, but SMU did their thing. Like you said, though, the ACC is wide open. Coach Cutler when it got Coach Mike Elko when it got that bag, man. We can't hate it. We can't hate it on him, man.
Had to.
He
Can't be
had to
mad
do
at the
it.
bag chaser.
No, man. He went and did his thing, but it's so much headlines.
You seen the way they cashed his boy Jimbo out. He said, "Look,
What?
he said I'm gonna cut y'all a deal."
And look, they ain't even put the contract details out
That's how
yet,
you
but
know
I
it's
already
wrong.
know.
That's how
You
you
know
know
what
it's
I'm saying? I seen they athletic director was talking in an interview talking about this is gonna be a incentive laden contract. We ain't paying a whole lot up front like we did last time. I'm like, them boys.
He said, "Yeah, them boys they was like, man, we gotta pay this man too." I know they was livid with Jimbo coming in 7-5.
What?
And now we gotta pay this man $75 million.
To stay away.
Get him gone.
I love it, man. I love college football. Looking at before we get out of here, Jay, looking at the conference championships coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Who, in your opinion, who is the most likely top seed to get upset? If you can even call it an upset at this point.
Well, I mean, Florida State.
Yeah. Do you think Louisville makes some noise?
Yeah, Jordan Travis down. That just kind of just sucked the whole air out the room. Like when you lose your leader, especially late in the season, to a devastating knee injury.
Man, yeah, leg is not supposed to bend like that.
It's brutal, man. And you lose that, and now it's like, okay, what do we do? Where are we gonna go? Who's our next guy? And I just think Louisville, they've been hot.
They healthy.
They healthy.
But
I
they
know they.
coming off that loss to
I know they
Kentucky
lost to
too,
Kentucky. I
man.
know they lost to Kentucky last Saturday,
Man,
which was a devastating blow.
that one win about got Stoops to Texas A&M. Just that
Exactly.
one win.
Exactly. So coming off of that, I think Florida State's right for the picking right now. Also, I think Washington could get got too.
Tough to beat a team twice.
Beat the team twice,
It's
especially a good
tough.
team like Bo Nix. You know, Bo Nix that had 6, 7 cracks at this thing.
Yeah, hey. Experience, and this ain't your uncle's 2007 Oregon where it's just straight speed sideline sideline. These
They got
boys,
big bodies in them
man,
trenches.
Bucky Irvin coming through them
And
tackles.
he is cold.
He is tough. I love his game, man. I'm a big fan of his.
And he's hard to bring down, keep the legs turning, explosive.
Yes,
That runs like he's mad at the ground.
yes. And it seemed like he gets stronger, but he running harder in the fourth quarter than he running in the first quarter.
And he's so
It's
little,
crazy,
bro. He be hiding behind the line. They can't find
man.
him. He's bouncing up. Man, Bucky Irvin tough. I like
Yeah,
it. You come tote the ball for me, Buck.
I'm telling you, I like his game. I like him a lot, man. I see where you coming from though with the Florida State. They had a sluggish start against Florida, man. It was looking ugly at the Swamp for the first half. So
Mm-hmm.
they come out sluggish, slow like that against Louisville. They might be taking a
You know
L
what I
back to
think is gonna
Tallahassee.
happen though, for real? Check
What's
this
up?
out. I think Florida State and Washington lose, and even if Bama loses, they get in.
2 loss Bama?
I think they in because Florida State's gonna lose,
Okay.
and if Washington loses, and I know Texas is gonna be sitting there like, oh, if
Yeah.
if Alabama plays a tight game with Georgia, I think they'll get in with 2 losses before Texas gets.
That's crazy. I mean, Texas, they got the strength of schedule. They got the win over Bama. I think,
It's
I
that
would
head
I
up
would
with
lean
Georgia.
them.
It's the head up with what is it, the immovable object versus the unstoppable force.
Yeah. I mean, I'm leaning because I'm looking at Oregon and like obviously they smacking everybody, they blowing everybody out, but their best win is Oregon State right now compared to that win
Yeah,
against
that's what I'm saying.
Alabama. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't. Yeah, it's tough right now, man. Because like you said, if Florida State loses, and then I was watching Ohio State and Michigan, and I mean Iowa. Let's be honest, they don't have no chance in this game. But if
No,
they
they can't
were to
score.
win, they can't. But if they get an offensive coordinator with that defense, they're gonna be tough. But I'm thinking like if Michigan was to lose, I'm wondering where does Ohio State fit in this grand scheme of
They
things? It's
don't
just
fit,
it's a
bro.
wrap.
They don't fit. They have good players. I don't know if they have they have great players. I don't think they have a great team.
Yeah,
The quarterback is still a bit of a question mark. The offensive line got bullied against Michigan. Got bullied.
man, bullied.
Marvin Harrison gonna always do his thing.
Right.
But it's just I don't know, man. I don't know. The D line isn't as dominant as we're accustomed to it being.
Nah, ain't no Bosa's out there, man.
No, no Bosa's, which no Chase Young, no
Mm-mm.
nobody with no name recognition on that team right now. There's nobody on that front that would be like, oh, he's a lock top 10 pick like they normally have.
Facts.
So I don't know if Ohio State's gonna be able to slide in there because, like I said, an appearance in the SEC championship game and a close game against Georgia, win or lose, is going to be more impressive than sitting at the crib after you just got smacked by your rival.
And that's the thing, man, because we're gonna be sitting marinating on that L for a whole nother week. We're not gonna get to see Ohio State again. And I feel like teams get rewarded for losing early more so than losing
Yeah,
late now, man.
absolutely.
And it's crazy.
And that's what that goes back to the Bama point. They lost to Texas week 2, and now
Hmm.
it's like, they had some struggles after they, bench Milrow, and then they bring them back and they rip off all these wins. And now it's like, okay, now they're a hot team, clearly smacking through the SEC and the
Yep.
opponents that are, placed before them. And now it all comes down to this one test.
Man, I was envisioning when you said Jalen Milrow, I was envisioning my man throwing that pass for fourth and goal.
Now, I was sitting right here. So we're a CBS station, right? So the game is on.
Word.
We're waiting. So I'm watching this game. I'm like, because the way the window was working, it was like as long as the game and the post game wraps before 7:19, we were gonna have a short newscast from 7:19 to 7:30, and then toss it to with national programming.
Mm-hmm.
But if the post game goes to 7:30, then we slide back and have
Yeah,
to
got
do the
that
newscast.
flex. Yeah.
Bro, I'm sitting here, I'm looked up, I'm like, okay, 4 minutes left, Auburn ball, like they winning. It's 7:40. It's 6:45. I'm like, we in the perfect spot. I'm like, we in the perfect spot because they about to go ahead and run this clock out. Even Alabama get the ball back. Like it's cool. It's not gonna be enough time. I said this game's gonna end, and then
Mm-hmm.
Alabama gets stopped. They punt that ball, and then bruh muffs the punt, and I'm sitting there
Yep.
like, no, because
Yep.
it's like 6:50. I'm like, okay, they got the ball, but it's still only a minute left on the clock. Like they got 3 timeouts. I'm sitting there, I gotta do all this math.
I'm telling you, man, because
Okay, post
it
game
was
usually 10 minutes.
crazy.
I'm like, post game's usually 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, it's 6:50. Like, okay, so this game if it's gonna last another 5 minutes, and then we'll get 10 minutes of post game, and it'll be 7:05, and we'll have a short show, whatever. Cool. I don't have to do that. Man, they start driving that ball. I'm like, here we go.
Moving it.
I'm like, bruh. And then, like, I'm like, it's cool. Like, it's third down. We still got plenty of time. Then what? False start, hold it, bad snap. I'm like,
it's over.
What are we?
It's over at this
Why are we
point.
running so many plays?
It's over at this point.
And I looked up. It's 7:00 on the dot. Alabama is 4th and 31, 4th and goal from the 31. I said, bro. I'm like, there's no way for overtime. So I'm like, okay, he dropped back. He throw the dot.
I was on the money.
Perfect ball. And literally, I'm like, oh, there's no pressure. I'm like, he got too much time. He back there, sir. And what a ball. The best ball of the weekend.
Easily.
The ball with the most implications and the most on the line. I mean, the highest pressure moment from either the NFL slate or the college slate.
Yeah.
Best ball of the week goes to Jalen Milroe.
Easily.
And then I look, they scored a touchdown. They up 3. I'm like, it's still time on the clock, bro.
Yep, it ain't over.
I'm like, bro, I'm like, there's no way we going on before 7:30. Because now they just scored a touchdown. It's 7:05. It's still 40 seconds left on the game clock. They got to kick off, go to commercial, come back.
You know what I'm saying? It's another 20 minutes. You know,
like, they got to do post game interview with the sideline reporter, then go to post game. Yep. They're going to talk about this because this is craziness. But we expect nothing less from the Iron Bowl.
The Iron Bowl, man, never disappoints. It never disappoints.
And then on the 10-year anniversary of the kick 6,
they had to get him back. And that man looked at the camera and said, "Give me the Heisman."
And you know what's crazy, bro? 10 years ago, to the day, kick 6. Where was I at the day that happened? I wasn't at home watching TV. Thanksgiving. I'm at Mizzou at the football game because that's the day they beat Johnny Manziel to punch their ticket and go to the.
Oh man!
My dog was playing, so I'm there. My mom, like the game getting ready to kick off. My mom calling me, blowing my phone up. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like I just drove. I'm like, I already told you I made it. I'm in Columbia. It's a 2-hour drive. It's easy. She blowing my phone up. I'm like, yo, what's up? She like, go to the TV. I'm like, what you mean? She's like, Alabama lost. I said, what you mean they lost? How they lose? I was like, he missed the field goal. Dude took it 109 yards.
To the crib.
Straight up the sideline.
Oh, man.
No juke moves. All tiptoe down the sideline.
Outran everybody.
One of the most memorable plays. One of the best games. Unbelievable. And then Mizzou goes on to beat Texas A&M that day. Punch their ticket to the SEC championship game. It was nuts.
Man,
still getting smacked by Alabama, but oh well.
I mean, what you gonna do, man? That man Nick Saban got a juggernaut, and it's crazy. We looking at them like they the underdog now, and they played it well, man. Shout out Saban. They played it well.
They call it rat poison.
Yeah, man.
That rat poison. They start telling you so good, you can't be beat. Rat poison. He said we like to be the underdog. I'm like, when are you ever the underdog, Nick?
You know what I'm saying?
But he's a wizard, bro. I don't know how he keep doing Auburn like
this. Elite, bro.
He keep doing Auburn like this. Right when you think you got him, you don't.
I'm telling you.
He ain't losing more. He ain't losing. He might lose twice. Maybe on an awful year.
Right.
and you might only catch him. You got one shot at him.
That's what I'm saying.
And so if he lose already, if he coming in your crib and he's already lost, you can go ahead and
Oh
pack that
yeah,
up.
they not losing too. If they had a close game and they come to your crib, you might be getting packed up.
Doors off.
If they gave up too many points, then Saban ain't like you might be getting packed up, man. It's crazy out here, but we definitely gonna keep y'all posted. Jay, I know you got some more work to put in, baby. It's gonna be a busy night for you, man.
2.5 hours, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I got Elko. I got Nina King. I got Tepper.
Talk to him. That boy, he firing football coaches, soccer coaches. Tepper, well, that boy be getting them out of there, don't he?
I call it the Tepper guillotine.
Man,
who next up on the to the Tepper guillotine? He doing them like Pirates of the Caribbean. He chopping heads off.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Y'all know we gonna keep y'all covered with everything. Jay, let them know where to find you at on social media, big dog.
Hey, all platforms. Silky Gilkey, baby. SILKY GILKEY. That's me. If you see it, that's me. And if you see it somebody else and it ain't me, call them folks.
Report them.
Call them folks. It's only one. It can only be one. And for a fact, real quick, I seen somebody, I don't know who it is, but he was Gilkey Silky. I said, yeah, you tried it. You tried it, my boy.
They biting like that.
You tried it, my boy. I said,
that's the fan page. That's the fan page.
It can only be one, baby. If the family name is passed on and you not next in line.
Oh man, they biting like that. That's crazy. Hey man, y'all better cut that out, man. Cut that out. That ain't cool. That's not P, bro. That's not P. Cut that out, man. It's not P at all. Y'all know where to find me, Brandon Blakney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Shout out to Believe. This is the Dukes of the Gridiron Podcast. Until next time, we out.